The other thing I was told to ask you, and I don't know if there's a story here, a dream you once had with a voice saying,
Oh my
you know
God,
the joke?
That's true. I'm not even sure if it was a dream. I don't know how to describe it, but I was in bed and it was, sort of twilight. I couldn't tell if I was dreaming or if, I don't know what kind of state I was in. And then I heard there was a man's voice, like a calm, soothing voice in my left ear. And at the time I wasn't sure what to do next and where I was going to go and what, lane I was going to go down, but still 100% wanted to keep pursuing acting. But there was a voice in my ear that said, you know the joke. And I opened my eyes and I was like, and I didn't move because I wanted to hear more from this. And I never heard anything more after that. And it was just a strange moment in my life.
What about it touches you even recalling it now?
I think about those words and why did I hear those words? And how did I hear those words? But it was very, very interesting to me. And it was calming. And I was like, oh yeah, I do know the joke. Like, you don't have to take everything so personally, so hard. Like, it's all a joke.
And that helped you at the time in making future decisions?
Yeah, at the time I felt like, I think this is a sign to lean into comedy.
I guess you were dating some investment banker at the time, living in a one-bedroom apartment, and kind of have, not like a midlife crisis, but like kind of a reevaluating life goals around that period. Kind of take me to that time and what you're kind of processing.
Yeah, well, when I turned 30, I was still living in a one-bedroom apartment, rent-controlled one-bedroom apartment in West Hollywood. I was still bartending, and I was like, wow, what am I doing? I'm so far away from my family. I was madly in love with this investment banker who ended up cheating on me. Like, this is not how I saw things happening. And it was really, a sort of a heartbreaking place. And I talked to my sister, and my sister said, well, why don't you come back to Florida? Go back to school and, practice psychology, like be a therapist. We talked about that before. And I was like, okay. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I don't want to do that. I want to keep pursuing my acting. If I'm 75 and still in this one-bedroom apartment in West Hollywood, it's going to be okay, because I'm doing what I wanted to do, and I find happiness in doing theater work and doing, independent films. And I just decided, it'll just be me. Like, I'm not going to get involved with a child or a pet. Nobody that needs me. If I was broke, I wouldn't want to be responsible for somebody else sort of living through that,
And your sister said you gained a lot of strength during that period, and you were not so naive after that as well. In what ways, you think?
Honestly, I was knocked off my feet from that relationship. It was a reminder that sometimes you work really hard and you don't get the thing that you were working for. And that's part of life. It's funny because Bobby, my husband's mom, she must have said this once, Ethel, but it stuck with me. We were talking about somebody going through something, and she said, sometimes you just have to take your lumps. I was like, God, I wish you weren't right, but you're right.
Did you feel like then, okay, things just might not work out great for me?
Yeah. And I was okay with that. I had great friends. I had a great family. I loved acting. So if those things worked out great for me, then I'm going to be great. Anything else that happens will be, icing on the cake. But I have everything. I have a great life.